Hey, everybody, welcome to the after show. We were going to take it to Instagram, but my guest had an issue trying to get on Instagram live. But we just completed our show, More Than Just a Movie, where Leroy and I break down classic Black films. So if you missed us live, go to my YouTube channel, Kendell Lenice, and watch More Than Just a Movie. We've done 7 or 8. We've done Love Jones and Love and Basketball and Boomerang and Coming to America and New Jack City and Waiting to Exhale. We did so many Black movies. So Leroy is going to be coming over here. But while we're waiting for Leroy, check out my shirt. Personal Peace Journey. It goes with my book, My Personal Journey of Peace, a 30-day guide to being better, wiser. That's my other book. Lord, I got so many dang books. This is the 30-day journal workbook. Go to Amazon.com right now and get this. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. And this also includes, here come Leroy. Here come Leroy. Come on, Leroy. Me cooking with grease. Turn your phone around. Turn your phone around. You sideways.
Oh,
yeah. Shoot. There you are.
I guess I got to hold it.
So we just only going to take this to 5 o'clock. You know, we're going to be short and sweet and do a 30-minute after show. So people can see this live, and then people can see this on the playback. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got finished doing The Brothers.
I'm gonna walk in here. Mm-hmm.
On More Than Just a Movie, right?
Yep.
And we were talking about relationships and relationships of all kinds, and that's what that movie was about, as you eloquently said. It's about relationships. So the relationships not only about romantic relationships, but relationships within friendships and relationships with the opposite sex and relationships with your parents, right? So let's talk about romantic relationships. And
okay.
as my boy DMX said, what do these, I don't want to say bees want from an N-word, but what do these women want from a man?
Well, I think I should be asking you that.
Oh, but I'm gonna ask you. Yeah, but I want to ask you what you think, because DMX didn't know. So what you think, and then I'll answer.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I would, if you ask me personally, I think it's 3 things, or 2 things that and I'll give you what I hear the most. I think women certainly want security, and I think that they want, whether this is right or wrong about the ladies, but I also think that they want security, but they also want to feel protected, if that makes any sense.
Yes. Oh, it makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, they want to feel protected, but protected in the sense that, one, they feel, I guess, if something were to happen, that they have, they have someone there that can protect them. Security in the sense that they want to feel as if they don't have to worry about how the lights are going to stay on. They don't have to worry about bills being paid. those things as far as security. Those are the only 2 things that I hear the most of when I hear women talk about relationships these days. What they want.
So they want
from
you
men.
saying. So you're saying from a man's perspective that from a man, women want security, and what else?
They want security and they want protection.
Yes. And I can agree with that. I can definitely, as a woman, I can agree with that. You know, you want security from your man. And it's not always financial, but financial is perfect, is great for sure. I'm not going to even front and act like that's not a thing, but then you want the security of being able to secure your heart and to trust, that man. And that's another level of security, the security to be vulnerable, right? So with that, And then also the protection for sure. You want someone to feel like they have your back, and you want to be able to feel like, if anything pops off. And then also the protection of not only your physical safety, but your emotional safety. So I agree with you. I agree with you. And we also want to just add to that list is honesty. We want consistency. I know for me, someone being consistent is huge, And also we want laughter from a man. We want to be able to have fun. We do want them to have all their teeth too and all that stuff. But now we all been to the dentist and got some things taken out, put back in, rearranged. There's nothing wrong with that, but just go to the dentist,
Absolutely.
But on another note, we just want to have a partner that's like-minded and not thinks the same, because there's a difference between thinking the same and like-mindedness. And oftentimes people say, I don't want nobody to think like me, be like me. I don't want another version of me, but I want someone who compliments me. And I think women, want that.
Well, I'm a step to you on that very thing.
Come on.
All right.
Let's get it.
And I want you to come from a woman's perspective, and what you just said. You asked me what I think that women want, and you just told me what women want. But if women were to look at if they were to look at their relationships that they had gotten into and saying what they say they wanted, would the relationships that they got into be a reflection of what they said that they wanted?
No. Not all the time. No. I'm going to keep it 100. Like they say, 100. I'm going to keep it real with you. No. Because you say you want it, and then because sometimes you'll say you want something, right? And sometimes those people may possess something right then. And then as you go further, you see that their actions possibly may not be lining up with what they said or who they said they were. And then some people, next thing you know, is 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You know what I mean? And then that happens, and then people just stay. Or people change. And what they were providing at once, they may not be providing anymore. But you're absolutely right. I don't think a lot of women stick to the plan and what they want. And I also think that women should be loose, not loose with your standards, but loose with, if you want somebody, and we talked about this before, because you're a shorter guy. And we talked about how women sometimes look over and say, I don't want no short man. I want a man over 6 feet tall. So, but with some things on the list, you have to be able to say, okay, what's really, really important? And if I don't get this, will I still get this great man in this person? You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
But what do men want from women? I can tell you what I think I know. We could do it like I just did it with the women and ask you first.
Okay.
So I can tell you what I think I know. They want, first and foremost, respect, right? They want to feel like they're needed and necessary and valued, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong. And they want a commitment, and that's a myth. A lot of people think men don't want a commitment. But shoot, I done been pushed down the aisle more than one time. I done been, asked to do, you know what I'm saying? So I never, even dating, I never met somebody who wasn't ready to commit. And I think that's a myth with men. Even when I was doing online dating, and I had done that for many years on and off, right? In my single time. And I would always find men who wanted to commit, but it was a myth out there that men just want to play and they don't want to commit. So so was I right, half right, a little right with the
No, I think you were definitely right on point there with the respect, of course, with to feel valued, which I think is right there with respect and value and the commitment thing. But I would also add, the only thing I would add to this list that you had would be that we actually, like you said, we want honesty. But I know for me personally, like you said, a sense of humor. I can't do the dry. I can't do the dry person. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me neither.
You can't.
I'm with you, bro.
You can't. I mean, I love to laugh. I like to enjoy, you know, have fun in life. You know, life is already too serious anyway. So the person that I'm with, I want to be able to enjoy, even if it's just nothing but us sitting in a place or whatever, and we laughing at somebody or laughing about certain people and things like that, or
People watching.
whatever. Yeah, people watching, or just those things where we can enjoy, we can just enjoy laughing about something that that we might have done that we thought was that we thought was really like, wow, we really did that, and only us know that we did
Yeah,
it and everything like that. So you get, those kind of things. You have to be able to laugh, one, even laugh at yourself sometimes, but then
yeah,
also just be able to laugh at life and enjoy life, and not
yeah.
always be so so staunch in your attitude, or have a bad attitude and everything like that, where, like we talked about in with the brothers, the mother that just had this demeanor, she
Mm-hmm.
had this just,
That
or
angry
even you
black
mentioned
woman.
too. Yeah, you had mentioned a guy asked you about that. You were just like, you have
Mm-hmm.
this unapproachable,
Mm-hmm.
kind of persona and
Mm-hmm.
energy about you. Nobody wants, nobody. You
No
can't.
stank face.
I
Nobody want
can't
no
be
angry
around
black.
people like that.
Nobody want no
Yeah,
stink face all the
so
time. Right. Yeah.
exactly.
But
So,
it's about
so that's
just
what I
too
would say.
being
Yeah.
conscious too, because
Right.
sometimes you don't know how you look until someone says, "Well, what's wrong? It ain't that bad." And you're like, "No, it ain't.
Right.
I'm just thinking about
Right.
like I was saying, how I'm gonna get the bill paid, what I'm gonna do tomorrow, how my weekend's gonna look." You might just be in your thoughts, but somebody might perceive it as, "What's wrong with her?"
Right. Right. Right.
it
Exactly.
it is not. But so it sounds like that men and women want the same things, because I definitely don't want no dry potato. I don't want nobody sitting there all dry and
Mm-hmm.
can't. But my thing too, what's sexy to me is intellect and intelligence.
Mm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
me, it starts here before it gets to the parts. So start before parts. That's what but and like, really, certain simple stuff to me, like knowing how to spell, being intelligent, teaching me something. I'm very vast in a lot of different areas, and knowledgeable in many areas, but I like to learn. I'm like a forever
Mm.
student. Like, I want to learn, and I would love to learn something new, or for that man to teach me something, you know what I mean? And to be able to laugh and have a good time, and to be able to pray, because I definitely need some, that type of covering as well. Is
Mm.
that important for men too?
Well, it depends on the minute you ask. I know for me, those are very important because, um, like you said, like you, I'm well versed too. So I like to be able to have intelligent conversations, and like you said, conversations that where you come away from, you're like, man, no,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
enjoy being able to talk about a number a number of things, and being
yeah,
able to be one, to be able to learn, because, oh, okay, I never looked at it that way. I
yeah,
never saw it from
yeah,
that perspective. So now I have a new understanding of it, or being able to give the give the other person a perspective to be able to think about.
yeah.
Not saying that you have to agree all the time,
Mm-hmm.
about it or whatever, but you actually can articulate
Yeah.
your mindset and how you may be thinking about things, or be able to talk about things. I tell you, like we said, there's to me, there's nothing worse than being trying to have a conversation with somebody, and it's like pulling teeth. You,
That's
you
what
got
I
to
always say. I'm
drag
not an
out.
orthodontist. I'm not an orthodontist. I ain't got time to be pulling teeth. I ain't go to
Right.
school for dentistry. Okay.
you're trying to have a conversation, and I know I hear this. The ladies always complain about this, where the guy will text them WYD, which you was supposed to be what you doing.
Mm-hmm.
They'll ask that, and they don't. That's kind of the extent of the conversation, as opposed to saying how was your day.
Yeah. And something
What was the
simple as
most
that is powerful. How was your day?
yeah, yeah. How was your day? What was the most important thing that happened to you today? Because that begins a dialogue, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you're able to talk about, you're
Mm-hmm.
just able to talk about a number of things, and that way, and that to me, that's the way that you get to know each other, because
Yeah.
in those conversations, you're actually divulging
Yeah.
your perspective on stuff. You're
Yeah.
divulging information about you, or even different aspects of your life that you might have gone through.
Yeah,
So,
that's so,
you know,
it's so true. And if you're just tuning in or if you tune in later, this is the after show to our show on YouTube, More Than Just a Movie. And today we did The Brothers, which was all about, hey T, is all about relationships, right? Leroy pointed out on the show, it's about relationships of all kinds. So we had the relationship between mother and son, which can sometimes get complicated because that's the son's first love, and how he treats women sometimes stems from the relationship that he had with his mom. Then you had a man, Shamar Moore's character, who, so we were talking about Bill Bellamy's character, and then Shamar Moore's character, who was deciding back and forth if he wanted to get married, in the relationship with his girlfriend, who he thought he needed to progress it into marriage. So then you had that relationship. And then you had Morris Chestnut's character's relationship with his, woman, and trying to, that whole commitment issue. And then you also had the relationship with his parents and his father in particularly. So then you got the father and the son dynamic. And then you have DL and his wife's relationship with the mother-in-law, putting her 2 cents in. So, so life is all about. Tashira said, let's go Facebook Live, because I had her on yesterday, because I don't go on
oh,
Facebook
okay,
Live. I never go do Facebook Live. I'm going to start doing it more. Tashira, we tried to do IG Live for this, but that didn't work out. So we're over here. So, and it'll be up on my YouTube channel also to go after, because since it's the after show.
cool,
But
right.
yes, Leroy. So when we get together, no matter what we're doing, whether we were talking about relationships on the YouTube channel or doing More Than just a Movie, why do you feel like men and women always have the conversation about relationships and really trying to find some understanding with both sexes?
Well, I think that it's a conversation that needs to be had,
Mm-hmm.
especially in this day and time. And I don't know if you know, but the last couple of weeks I've dealt with men and women. Last
Let's
week
talk
or the
about
week
that.
before, I dealt with the miseducation of manhood, and I said, just be a man. Man
Just
standing
be a
for
man
mature,
about it.
just be mature, accountable, and natural. So I talked about that, about men, being a mature man, being an accountable man, and being a natural man. What does that look like
Mm-hmm.
as men? And then this week, I've been dealing with the miseducation of womanhood. And it's the 5 traits of a woman. Woman standing for worth, knowing your worth, being organized, being mature, being accountable, and being natural. What does that woman look like?
Mm-hmm.
Who is she? Does she understand? And I put it like this: does she not only understand her worth, but does she just know her worth, but does she understand her worth? There's a
Yeah.
difference in the two.
Yeah.
There's a difference in the two. Being organized. What does it mean to be organized as a woman? Having your understanding of who you are as a woman, but then also where you're trying to be. And I
Mm-hmm.
put the question to women: who do you want to be by the end of 2021? Who are you? And then what are you
Mm.
doing
Mm.
today that will get you to who it
Come
is
on.
that you want to be by the end of 2021?
Come on now. Who are
That's
you
an
becoming?
organized, yeah, that's being organized. And then of course being mature. Being mature as a woman. What does a mature woman look like? What do you do? That's what I'll be dealing with today.
Look, maturity.
I know, right? Or you know, or Jasmine Sullivan bust your windows out your bust your windows out your car. You know, that's
65-year-olds busting windows out cars now, so I don't know.
I know,
You
right?
got 16
You
and 65.
you know, and being accountable, which you know, y'all, that's gonna be. I think a lot of women have, or I'm gonna say it. The shit you ain't gotta say it. I'm gonna say it that a lot of women have an issue with being accountable. So of being accountable. Yep, I said it. Yes, I did, ladies. I said it. Y'all have some issues with being accountable for the things that y'all do. So we're gonna be dealing with that tomorrow, and then of course being natural, being who you are. You know, are
That
you
authentic.
authentically you? Yeah. Are you transparent? Are you honest? Like you talked about earlier, being honest. Are
Mhm.
you honest with you
Mhm.
know? Are you an honest? You get and I had I told you we talked earlier. I told you I had a friend of mine that I was telling about what I was doing this week about
I was
the
gonna bring
women,
that up. I'm so glad
and
you did. I was gonna bring it up. I was
and
gonna bring it up.
and we and we were having a conversation about women and these eyelashes. The one thing I just think is the worst thing ever, and I don't know where it come from. Maybe you can talk a little bit of right,
I
exactly.
I
They
got my
wave
own
it, but
eyelashes, so I don't know.
right. So and I don't understand what it is, why women are so fascinated, or why they feel as if they need to have these eyelashes. But then too, about it, they go over. I'm talking like you just said. You got some that are literally up at their forehead with them. Like I don't understand what the phenomenon is with you know with the fat with the eyelashes and then these super long nails. I'm like I don't get it. Don't
Mhm.
understand it.
And mine are natural.
They
I ain't got none. Mine naturally.
right. Right, exactly. So my thing to her was, what do you need it? She's like, well, it's just an accessory, and it's like,
Some of the
no,
nails be like this though. They be like
that's
this.
what I'm
Like,
saying. Right, they
but
be
you
that
know what?
long.
It's a personal preference. So I guess what you got to understand, because my husband hates the two that you just said. It bothers
Hmm.
him too,
See,
right? Where people have
see.
he always talk about what is up with these lashes and these nails, because you know I have natural nails. They are long, but then you do have
Hmm.
some like this. And like I tell him, you know, even if you don't agree, you know, that's a woman's personal choice to
Right.
decide. And unfortunately, men don't have to necessarily understand why they do. But it's something funny on TikTok. It was this video, right? And I reposted it because it was the most hilarious thing I ever seen. He was like, women talking about they can't find a good man. They can't find a good man because the lashes is in the way. They can't see. And I was
Exactly.
hollering. I was
I mean, I
hollering.
just like I said, that's
Personally,
y'all
as a
thing, and I
woman,
don't.
but as personally as a woman, I don't wear lashes. I've never worn lashes ever, and my nails
Mm.
have always been natural. I've never had acrylic or tips or anything. I'm not,
Oh, okay.
dogging the women who have, like, I've always had, the nails or whatever lashes I got. They just what I got. But I've never been one to be into any of those. But
Hmm.
people do, women do have the right to express themselves how they want,
Yeah.
and there's some men out there that are here for it, like, because I this one lady that I follow on TikTok, her eyelashes are like I've never seen, and she got a husband. So I don't know if she had the husband before she started the lashes, or she got the husband and then started it and he can't divorce her because of the lashes, so he just accepts the lashes.
Talking about your honor. Talking about
Right, your
your honor.
honor.
I couldn't
I
deal with the
couldn't do it.
lashes.
She was scratching me up at night, and she was blocking her vision and couldn't see me for the man I am, Your Honor, Your Highness.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But
So it's
and
just like I
I'm
said.
glad that you're talking about it as a man, because,
Mhm.
like, although you'll have women on here saying a woman can do what they want, their personal choice. I agree, 100%. Totally. But every woman doesn't have that preference. But if you are the woman that has that preference and that's what you do you, boo. But there are a group of men who are okay with it, don't matter, don't bother them. And it's some men who, like Leroy expressed, just trying to understand. My husband just trying to understand, well, why do they? I'm like, the only answer I got is because they want to. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. or it makes them feel better, makes them feel prettier, makes them feel on trend, because some women want to be on trend, right?
Right, right, right. But I mean, but here's the thing though, too, is women that have these, they got the eyelashes, they got the fingernails, they got the fake this and fake that, but then they talk about how they want a real man. Like, okay, you're not being authentic. So you want a man to be real, but you want to take off all of that, that
Like
type of.
how what Hollywood Shuffle? No, I'm gonna get you, sucker. Remember, I'm gonna get you,
Yep, that's
sucker. She said,
exactly what
"Don't
I was
make me
thinking
hop
about.
after
Right,
you." She
right.
took the leg off.
Yeah, she took the leg off and everything. So and like you said, people can do what they want to do. Do you? If that's what you like, that's what you love. You like one of my buddies used to say, you love it, you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? do
Right.
do you?
Right.
And
But the
all those
women,
things.
those same women can't get mad though either, Leroy. If a man has something that they don't like men are getting male weaves, right?
Mm,
Men are drawing on beards. Men got the Beijing going on. They got all of that too. So, like for me personally as a woman, I don't like it, right? But if I had the lashes and I had the nails, like I would have to accept that from the man, like the little fake piece, the toupee. Well, now it's not a toupee, it's a full
uh,
frontal weave. And I would have to accept the Beijing with
uh,
the fake beard. You get what I'm saying? Like, even though I
uh,
wouldn't like it, like if they got that, then they gotta accept that.
all
And
right,
that's
all
a
right.
thing too with couples. You gotta accept the person. May not like
All
it.
right. Let me ask you this. And I know you probably saw it because I think everybody and their mama saw it. The two pictures of Ron Isley. Ron Isley.
Ron was looking.
with the the
Ron
the
was looking
the
like
Ron
a
the Ron
snack.
with the gray beard and it got
He
the
was
got the
looking like a
sunshades
snack.
on and looking smooth. But then the older
That
picture
old.
of
That old way. Look, Ron Isley twisted and shouting. He could stay over there. Somebody was saying the new Ron could get it. They was like, that new Ron, he could get it. But the twist and shout, the you busted, drifting on a memory, Ron. Shoot, between the sheets, that Ron, the plastic with the ponytail, that Ron. The new Ron that came out with the cane and the salt and pepper beard, and his hair was just nicely, naturally
yeah.
coiffed, and he came stepping out. Let me tell you something. Black Twitter, Black TikTok, Black Facebook talked about that for a week, and they're still talking
Yep,
about it
they
as
did.
we are right now. And I even
Yeah.
posted about it on TikTok, and I got thousands of
Did you?
views and
Did you?
comments. And
Mm-hmm.
people were like, one lady was like, I told my husband, she was like, I kept looking. He kept saying, why do you keep talking about Ron Isley? And she said, I told my husband he need to go gray, get a gray beard. I see so many people, clowning. It's so funny, but he did. So that was a good thing, right? No? Would
Yeah, no,
you
I think yeah. What?
would you if you needed a haul, you 79 like Ron Isley, and if you needed a up haul, pulled it together, change this, change that, would you go under the knife or change the way you dress, or because he got the young wife Candy, who was from the singing group JS, so he always had, and he got a 14-year-old
Oh, is she?
son.
Oh, I didn't know who
Yeah,
she was.
yeah,
Oh,
she used to be in the group, and she used to sing background for him too. But
okay.
he's been married to her for years after Angela Winbush and he got divorced. Um, he's been married to her for years. So if you
Really?
got that, yeah, they've been married a good 15, 20, almost. They've been
Okay.
together like almost 20 years.
Yeah, because I think they got married when he was 65. I think it was. They said something
No,
like
they
that.
was maybe a little but they were together. So maybe the marriage is 65, but I remember them being together. Think about it, the son's 14 and they didn't just get together when they made it. You gotta
Oh,
have
okay.
9 months for the
Yeah,
pregnancy.
but
So that's
you gotta remember he's 79.
yeah.
So 65, that's 14 years right
Yeah, but
there.
that's what I'm
So
saying. It's been over that. But think about it. They didn't just
okay.
had a son. The son's
So
14. So you got to be pregnant for the
right.
9, 10 months.
Yeah.
Then you were
Yeah.
pregnant.
So
Then
at
you were
least
together some years. So it's almost 20 years, like somewhere
yeah.
around there.
Yeah. yeah, because she's 35 years younger than him, because she's 44. She's
That's
younger than both you
crazy.
and I.
That's crazy. And she was younger than that when they got together. She was like a little
Yeah,
20
hey,
something.
think
But she was
think
still
about it.
grown though. She was grown.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So, but I
would
don't,
you get an
I
overhaul?
don't. Well, I wouldn't go under the knife. I'll
Me
say that.
neither. Me
Um,
neither.
but I certainly would, be like, okay, if I need to, if I need to get the dentures, which he probably got and everything like that, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I need to have a,
The
had a
choppers.
grill. Yeah, gotta have a grill. That aspect of it. And then just making sure that I look at least in shape, where but I've always been conscious of what I eat. So I've
Mhm.
always been,
Mhm.
conscious about what I eat and try to eat healthy and everything like that. So I hope that when I do um, become 79, hopefully I'm still around
Yeah,
when I'm
you will be.
79. But I can look as good as he does look. Because I
Mhm.
mean, you wouldn't
He
think that
looked
he was
good.
79. Yeah, I
Because when
wouldn't
he
have said that
said
he
it on
was.
the verses, everybody was like, "What?"
What? Yeah, you didn't realize that was like, wow, oh, he's 79. Okay, but he looks, but he actually, but I'm gonna give props to either his PR person or his stylist person. They took advantage of
His
that. They were
wife
like,
too.
no, let's change that. Well, you think his wife had a
Yeah, but they
part in
said that.
part in
They said that she
really?
did it. They said it was her.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
you always talk about impact and influence, and you already know. We talked about this when I did the whole platform with the men and women when I had that
Hmm.
symposium. Women have the influence to
Hmm.
impact men and to influence them, right?
Yeah,
Steve Harvey,
absolutely,
even
absolutely.
though neither one of us rock with Steve Harvey, but I remember
Yeah,
when he had that
right.
toupee, his wife was the one like, baby, why don't you just shave that off and be bald? And he did it.
Yeah,
So
she gave him a whole new look from the suits that he wore, and all of those, and all just his whole, like you said, his whole look he changed up for her. So
exactly,
definitely
exactly.
true.
Exactly. So, all right. So then maybe by the time you sing 79, you get some singing lessons. You can have like a little song on iTunes.
I know, right? Singing like
It,
Ron, but I love that song too. That they're taking full advantage of everything that they're doing. I mean, whoever their marketing people are, whoever their branding people are, they've taken every opportunity to be able to put that image out there, and to be able to capitalize on it with music. And he can still sing. I'm like,
yeah,
he's still
yeah,
blowing.
yeah.
So, I'm like, do you? I ain't mad at you
Mm-mm.
at
I
all.
felt bad for Earth,
So,
Wind, and Fire because we know Earth, Wind, and Fire got hits, but after that verse was over, wasn't nobody talking about
yeah,
them. They
doubt
was
about
talking
them at
about the
all.
Isley brothers and
They,
Ron Isley. That's
yeah,
who,
but they look like they were struggling though. I
they
didn't
look
realize
like
Earth
old
Wind.
men.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Isley,
Earth Wind and Fire looked like they were
Ernie and
struggling.
Ron was still going strong. Ernie had that guitar up behind his
Hey,
head and behind his back. He was showing
it,
out.
I was laughing because every video that you see of the Isley brothers, you got, which is Ernie with the guitar. That's all he do. He'll say nothing. He don't sing background. All he do is play the guitar. That's
But
all
he
you
did
see him
write so
doing.
on the verses. He did write some of the classic songs. He was like, Ernie wrote that.
Yeah.
We didn't know Ernie be. But yeah, but
He can't
let me tell
sing.
you,
He can't. He
no,
probably can't sing, but he can do the music. Ron does the
yeah,
the singing and everything like that. But every
Ernie was
every
showing
video,
out. He
Ernie
be
got
showing
that
out.
guitar. That's all he got the guitar.
He
every
shows
video he got
out.
the guitar.
Yes, yes. So when we talk about, that, and we'll finish up in about 5 minutes. Because I know we've been at this for a couple hours for this show. And
Yeah.
if you're just tuning in, this is the after show. So go right back to YouTube. Right above this video, you'll see the show, More Than Just a Movie, where we talk about the brothers. This is the after show for that. So let's talk about that. Would you date someone not even 35 years younger? Would you date somebody 20 years younger than you?
Um. Honestly, I probably would. It would depend. It would definitely have to be somebody that I connected with.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about that kind of that's a big age range.
Mhm.
So we would definitely have to have so much in common.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it would be a thing where we would have a lot in common. And even if it were somebody that was 20 years older, we would have to have a lot in common. Where we could, because that's my thing when you talk about that older, younger relationships like that, it's like the first thing you say is, well, what do they have in common? What is it that
Mhm.
they have in common? Because
Mhm.
you're talking about that's 2 decades. That's
Yeah.
that's a
That's a lot
that's
of
a
years.
lot that's a lot of years
That's
in
a lots of
between
space
there.
and
That
opportunity and
right.
experiences.
That's a lot of experience for the person that's 20 years older. So
Mhm.
they've seen a lot more, they've gone through a lot more, they've experienced a lot more, those kind of things. And you got to think that's a lot of music, that's a lot of movies which we talk
Mhm.
about. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
what are those things that you
Yeah.
have in common?
Yeah.
So what are those things that you have in common that you can actually build a relationship on, and not just it be just a physical thing,
That's so
or
true.
a financial thing, because a
Mm.
lot of times
There you
that's
go.
what that is.
There you
Those two
go.
things
There you
are what
go.
those older, younger relationships are. They're about those two things. It's either a physical thing or it's a financial thing,
That's
depending on
true.
the perspective and who you ask about it. Sometimes
That's true.
that's what you get into. You know what
That's
I mean?
true. I
So
think it's a difference from a 20-year-old and a 40-year-old than maybe a 50-year-old and a 70-year-old. That might work, or a 60-year-old and an 80-year-old. That might work.
mhm.
But when you get from a 20-year-old to a
Yeah,
40-year-old, there's a lot.
yeah, that's the that's the
That
that's
seems
that's
like,
the lot. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a lot of maturity right there. At least
yeah,
with the 50 and 70, or
yeah,
the 40 and 70-year old. There's a certain amount of maturity that should be there, or that's usually
yeah,
there, I think, and
yeah,
everything like that. So
yeah,
you can understand each other on a maturity level. But
yeah,
with that being 30 and 40 and
yeah,
50 and dating a 25 and
yeah,
20-year old, yeah, nah, that's yeah.
yeah.
That
But
to me, that I don't think the maturity is there.
yeah.
So
What's the most space you had in between? I know I dated a guy one time that was 10 years older than I was, and we just dated, we
hmm,
didn't really have a relationship, but relationship, marriage, or it was, I think, 7 years almost, but I dated someone 10 years. What was the most space that you had in between someone you dated as far as years?
12, 12 years.
Okay, you older or younger than
Hmm.
you?
Younger, younger than me,
Okay,
12 years
12
younger.
years young. And you know what? Sometimes let's talk about that just quickly.
Hmm.
Sometimes that's more acceptable than a woman dating somebody
Right,
12 years younger than a
right,
man dating someone 12 years younger, because 10
right.
years or more than a woman is called a cougar, right?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
a man
Hmm.
is like, go ahead, boy,
But
you got that
but you
young
know what
girl.
that is, though. But you know
What?
what that is, though, right? It's what we
What?
talked about in the beginning when you asked me
Mm-hmm.
what are men looking for, or what are women looking for.
Mm.
They look for
That
that. They look for
security.
that security, that protection, and provider.
Yeah.
And that's what most of the time when you see that older man, younger woman relationship, that's what they get. They get that
Yeah.
protection. They get that provided for.
Yeah,
So
I could see that.
I think, to me, I think that's why it's a little more acceptable than when you have the reverse, when you have the older woman and the younger man.
Got it. I
Because
see
it's
that.
when you have the older woman and younger man, it's usually looked at as a physical thing.
Yeah,
She want that.
like an
She want
arm
that.
candy or something.
Yeah. What y'all say, that young tenderoni,
That
that
tenderoni.
that
Tenderoni is
young
so right.
tenderoni that she can, so I think those are the dynamics when you talk about older men, younger women, and then older women, younger men.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the last question I want to ask, to take away as we roll out of here, what is something that women should know that's on the minds of men? Like, what should we know about y'all? What you want from us, or just what we need to know about y'all?
Well, let's start with what you all should know from us. I think it's what you said earlier, um, that we want pretty much the same things that you all want. It's just in a different form, and I've always
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought that and said that. that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the respect, the communication, the honesty. I think those are things that we want, that
Mm-hmm.
we really want. It may come in a different mindset or different frame,
Mm-hmm.
but I think at the end of the day, it's all the same. You know,
Mm-hmm.
to me, I think those are the core things. I mean, and then I want men and women to understand this, and I've been saying this that especially when it comes to, because of the miseducation of men and women, is understand men and women should bring to the table these three things. You should, they talk about protect, provide, and then the third one is is what did I say? Protect, provide, and then um, I want to say progress. Because what are you willing to protect in the relationship? What are you willing to provide in the relationship? And then how are you in the are you and the relationship? How do you progress in the relationship?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to make the relationship better?
Yeah.
You know, what do you bring to it to make it better? Because God created all of us to be able to I'm sorry, produce. That's what it is. The third
Produce.
one is produce. What are you producing in the relationship? So what are
Yeah.
you protect, or what are you willing to protect in the relationship? What are you willing to provide in the relationship? And what are you willing to produce in the relationship?
Boom.
Those three things. You got to be
Boom.
able to bring that to the table.
Boom, you heard it here first. This has been the after show with Leroy and I, from More Than Just a Movie. If you are watching this on Facebook, go on over to YouTube right now to watch More Than Just a Movie, and this is the after show. If you're watching us on YouTube and this is the first video you see, go back a video and watch the show More Than Just a Movie. All right, Leroy, fun as always. I will see you next Wednesday for More Than Just a Movie and also the after show.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for
Bye.
tuning in, y'all.